Jody. How you doing,
Yes,
buddy?
sir. Hey, Ryan, how you doing? How's everybody in the chat? Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is September 12th. Wherever you are, welcome to the show. Do not forget to like and subscribe.
That's right. And when it's all said and done, go on over to Jody's channel. The link is in the video description. Still got the high five link in there for the pay-per-view if you want to go back and order that. I think you still can.
Really?
I'm not sure. But the link's there. Takes you to their website anyway.
Well,
Go
and
get
you
one
also,
with you.
you go to my channel, you will have my thoughts on the post matches I had over the weekend with one Justin Green and one Jordan Seal. So,
Do you want to talk about those matches quick? Because I think we should cover that and then get into the soapbox segment.
sounds good. So, as you all know, I went to Utah over the weekend, and it was the last qualifier of the World Series of Arm Wrestling Championships. And now we're on to the finals, and the finals will take place November 4th in San Diego. So that's that fake young guy. Jay Queen's in the house. So how it's set up, I had a super match Friday night. So all the super matches were Friday night early weigh-ins, right? So I was part of one. Robbie Topi was part of another. And my match was Jordan Seal, best of 5 left hand. And you got to know, over the years, I've never, ever had a pin on him. Like all the tournaments we've done out west, he was there. He was in my class, whether it be the, Kenny Boston Memorial in Hawthorne, whether it be the U.S. Open at the Oregon Coast, could never beat him. Never beat him. So I was like, okay, I got to get at least one win, if not win the whole thing. And that'll be a feather in my cap, right? So just to break things down, gripped up, match one. And by the way, in case you didn't know, Mr. Espey, all the matches in this particular organization are all rest grip.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it can benefit a person because then they can't sit there and do all their, and then lock his, oh yeah, look, I'm straight, all that kind of stuff, Everything's just go, and it's not a wall where, you kind of just close your own. They close it for you. So, which sometimes can be uncomfortable for me because then they're like strict. So I was like a statue half the time. And I didn't get my feet set, which is kind of my own fault. I should have got that done first, then went ahead and did all that stuff. So anyway, ref grip, I felt comfortable with Jordan Seal out of the strap, okay, to where, he would take me over. I can kind of peel him out, had his fingers, and he's not as good left-handed as his right. So let's put that out there, right? And Ryan, how frustrating is it when you have somebody and you got them by the fingers and you get ready to transition and kind of, put it down, and all of a sudden, they slip out. How frustrating is that?
Incredibly, because it changes the entire course of the match. And yeah. I can name you a dozen guys that if they were forced to hold on, the outcome of my match with them would have been way different.
Yeah. So we slip, damn it, getting a strap, no big deal. Jordan feels a lot more stronger in the strap than he does out of the strap. So what do I take back? And match 2 was the exact duplicate. Now, just for those 2 matches, I'm down 0-2, best of 5. So what do you take back from that? What do I take back from that? Take back that, you know what? If I can keep Jordan out of the straps, I have a slight chance. Okay? That's what I took back. So I got Mr. Natfit, Jamie Sheldon, in my corner. He's rubbing the arm, that kind of stuff, and we're chit-chatting. How do you feel? I was like, you know what? If I can keep him out of the strap, because, again, with the rest grip, they can't sit there and do their little wizardry, right? So it's even Steven. And my thought process is that if it's even Steven, I got a chance to pull something out. So, again, ready to go. We slip. I'm like, fuck, here we go again. Now, get into the strap this time. Normally, if you're in a tournament, you're on the B side, you pull out something desperate because if you lose, it's over. Same thing with a super match. You're down 0-2. If it's best of 5, desperation calls. All right, cool. So we get our grip, and I'm just loading hard as I can. And what I try to do is just kind of give him a little bit. So last minute I can kind of just, come over like that. So Jordan goes to it. He surges. I'm like this. I don't know if everybody can see that, but I'm here. And all of a sudden, hold on, y'all see that? I'm here. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, every time he surges, I'm like this. Surge, that. Now, I'm open this far. That is not a good position for normal people. But as he's surging, I'm still doing this. So he's getting tired by driving up. I'm doing this. And all of a sudden, I slide my elbow forward like that. He goes to take a breath, and I just kind of get the pin on him like that. So now it's 2-1. And I got this like, holy shit. Never ever pinned Jordan Steele before. All right, I'm good. Cody Merritt is in the corner of Jordan. Yells, Jordan, get it done. Don't mess around. Don't mess around with this guy. You know?
And he expects you to be in his corner during our match.
He gave me shit for that too, by the way. I'll tell you that in a minute. So Jordan gets up, we slip again. I'm thinking, all right, this time I'm gonna try to drive. Well, he slightly got me on the go and got me over here. So it's like, okay, fine, 3-1, Jordan wins. Okay, but everybody was kind of high-fiving me. It was like, damn, you actually beat Jordan. You took him in the way you beat him. Now, looking back, I'm thinking I actually Kings moved him, which it was more of an open top roll version where, once you're out here, I wasn't really down here. I was out here, but as he surged, I kind of was, got the pronation going. So everything is on the pass. I wasn't like I was total, Kings moving it. But that's that. Next day was right hand, Justin Green. Once again, there's a film crew there. So none of these matches, everybody, is out there. Nobody has any kind of footage because we were not allowed to use our phones whatsoever. And I'm like going, well, shit. The one pin I get on Jordan Steele, I can't fucking film it. Like, all right, fine, whatever. So Justin and I get it. It's this big production and the buildup, in case you know about the World Series of Arm Wrestling. This is season 2, by the way. And, what it is that they built this Justin and I match around this whole tournament. So because both of us are in the midst of doing things for our own foundations. We all know the LOD Foundation that I put on with my wife. Justin Green and his wife puts on the Suicide Prevention Foundation. So it was like building up. It was Justin's first match post shoulder surgery that he hurt in this event last year. So he's been training that kind of stuff. And here we are. We get up there. And Ryan, when you're about to step on stage and get to the table for a super match, is your mind like, yeah, I'm ready to get this going?
Yeah, normally.
I'm ready to go. And all of a sudden, Greg Sharp.
I can think of one time when it's not, and we'll talk about that as soon as you're done your recap.
So, bless Greg Sharp's heart. Love the guy. Bless his heart. He goes, yeah, everybody, this is Jody Williams. Him and his wife lost their son. I'm thinking, dude, right before the match. And all of a sudden, I was like, crap. Then, the eyes started getting watery. Yeah, and Justin Green, he's very close to this suicide thing. He lost a brother. Here's Justin like going, shit. Now, he has sunglasses on, so you probably couldn't see anything, but it was like the one time I'm like, I'm ready to get this thing done. He drops that on it, so it's kind of like, So anyway, let's have a good match. I'm trying to get the fucking tears out of my eyes, and I'm ready to go and shit. Match 1, we slipped, obviously, shocker, big deal. And I got to work on that, by the way. You and I will talk about that after about what I can do. I got an idea, but I want your opinion. So anyway, we get there, we lock up, and this was right hand. My right hand is not as great. But before I get to that, the reason why I didn't pull the tournament left hand was because when Tim Talmadge or Chris Collins tighten that strap, it hurts because they tighten it so hard that my wrist goes boop. And so I got this pain right here. So that's why I didn't pull left hand in the tournament. But we'll get to that. So first match, Justin hits. I just side pressure him to the top or to the side of the pad. I get the win. I'm up 1-0. Jamie Shelton is in my corner. Bob Brown's in, Justin's corner. We slip again. I had a shitty setup, I thought. Match 2, Justin got it. Match 3, Justin was really, really on it. And I had lost the fucking go on that. So now I'm down 2-1. Going into the last match, I'm thinking, all right, I got to make something happen here. My intent was to stop his hit. So I think I'm stronger than him. I went to stop it, and just before I got to the pad, they called the match. parallel pin. I'm thinking, I thought I was going to stop him. I was going to try to stop him, bleed him out, and bring him back. But, you know, it is what it is, right? Parallel pin, Justin wins 3-1. Later on, Tim Thomas comes to me and goes, yeah, I think I might have stopped that premature. It is what it is, right? What do you know?
Well, you thought so too, ref. Okay. Now tell me about Cody Merritt. He gave you shit?
Yeah, so I walked by. What's up, Cody? How you doing? You know, I kind of sat there and chit-chat with, and they were talking about the Canada event. And he goes, yeah, so are you going to be a trader? You're Team USA, right? I'm like, well, it's North versus South. No, Team USA. Say it, Team USA. I'm thinking, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, bro, calm down, man. Calm down. It's going to be a good event. Let's do this, So it was funny. So.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. I was mentioning the one thing that would probably get me, from ready to arm wrestle to not when the super match rolls around. And Billy, I want you to listen to this loud and clear. What is better? Having a scheduled time for super matches to take place and sticking to that time as best you can, or making all those showcased athletes sit through an entire tournament that could take anywhere from 2 hours to 7 hours, not knowing when they're going to arm wrestle, and then bringing them on at the end. And think of it from two perspectives, as a competitor, but also as a spectator, whether you're on in person or you have purchased a pay-per-view and you don't know when it's going to start.
Was that question to me or him?
That's to you and everyone in the chat.
I've seen both situations where, remember when it was a couple years ago and Chan Shaw pulled John Brzezinski in that super match?
Yeah.
That match was after the tournament. So what you could do, thank you, Billy. Thank you. Now, that's the answer we were looking for. The thing is, though, I've seen different ways of handling that. Because if you're doing a Travis Bajan thing, he wants to do the super matches after the tournament. It's like, what the fuck? I've seen people do super matches first to hype things up to kick off the tournament. We've done that for years and years. Or what they've been doing recently is that, like this past weekend, they did the super matches on Friday night during the early weigh-ins. So there's ways you can do that.
I get the rationale for having the super matches later when your only source of revenue for the tournament is the in-person spectators and you're trying to get them to sit there and spend their money for the whole day. But we have moved past that. It's not 2007 anymore.
Right. Yeah, I'd rather have it before, because what if the people involved in a super match, like myself, I'm pulling Billy, right? Left hand. If I want to do the tournament, then if I burn myself out of the tournament and then do the super match, I'm like Jello, right?
Oh, look.
Oh, we got gift bags of swag. What we got? Where's my team shirt, Billy? What's up, man?
Just so you know, Billy, just so you know, High Five gave us backpacks with our team jersey, with a hoodie, all kinds of stuff in there. Must have been about $8,000 worth of stuff inside that backpack.
What
and
do
a
the shirts
stack
look
of
like?
$100 bills at the bottom of it.
What do the shirts look like, Billy? That's all I want to know. Is like Team North going to be like in red and white? Is Team South going to be in blue and white? I mean, what we looking at? But yeah. So I mean, all in all, I had a great time. The actual tournament itself was, Saturday still, but I decided to pull the right hand. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I did anyway. Took fourth, but still qualified for the finals in November. So
Scott's not buying it.
Scotty.
Well, that's good. The finals look interesting. Like I said, I'm probably just going to show up and buy my way into the final.
Hey, but there was some interesting, I could tell you results. I just can't, there's no video to show, but because it was in production about season 2 and stuff. Now, I will say this though, the once you got to the championship, the finals, and you won your weight class, then it's like heaviest to heaviest, lightest to lightest. They're pulling, but they're best of from that point on, it's all best of 3.
Did you know that at the North versus South event, there's going to be a seminar on the Friday night, I believe?
The one Magnus doing?
No.
Oh,
Magda, not our event.
Oh, who's gonna be the guest?
Well, apparently it's going to be a joint effort. I don't know if these people have been notified yet, Billy. But Gabby, of course, myself, I assume Cody Merritt.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, let's make sure Cody's in there. Cody can talk for 2 hours about arm wrestling, so book him for 2 hours after we're finished.
Yes. Working on t-shirts. All right. Yeah, so what if I told you in the finals for the right hand finals, because they're like you got the 240 and over, 239 class, and then the bottom two, I can't remember, 209 and something else. The winners of those, 2 out of 3 goes to move on to the finals. So what if I told you Brent Rockers beat Cody Merritt 2-0 in the overall?
If it was left hand, I'd believe you.
Rockers. Now you remember he already won. I think he won did he go to Riverside one? Because the 4 regionals was the East had New York, the South had Dallas, Texas, the West had Riverside, California, and Roy, Utah, Salt Lake City was the North region. And I think Brent already won one. I can't remember which one it was, but he came to this one, and all of a sudden it got down for the right hand finals. It got down between Cody and Rocker. So I was like, oh, okay. Next thing you know, it was like, okay, here we are. And Rockers ended up winning 2-0 because it was the best of 3.
Can you talk about the match, how it went? Like, as far as we know the score, but was it just Brent just dominating, or was it a drawn-out match? What happened?
No, I think once Cody got turned in, because Brent's cup is so fucking ridiculously strong, I'm thinking Cody's going to drag back and kind of do this number, but the view I had, I couldn't see it. But I was like going, really? And I was like, oh, okay. Even Cody, I mean, Cody walked through the left hand, by the way. Let's just get that straight. But, the right hand, it just seemed like on the go, it just seemed like Brent just kind of did this. And once he got that and Cody went under, he couldn't get enough rotation,
Here's what I want to know. Who got second place in the left hand in Cody's own class, and who got second place overall left-handed?
Let's see here. I can't remember, because once I got eliminated, I was kind of bouncing around, talking to people, enjoying myself. My wife and I had merchandise set up. I was kind of going back with her, that kind of stuff. So I kind of was bouncing around. But I think Eric Gerlach, did he win the left hand? Either him or Topi that won the left hand in the 239 class. So obviously one of them met Cody. So as far as there wasn't a lot of turnout, but the array of talent that was there for the turnout, because there's something else going on in Utah that day, or that weekend. So a lot of people didn't show up, but for the array of talent that was there, I mean, when you got Robbie Topi and Robert Baxter and Jordan, Cody, Justin, Sheldon, Rockers, I mean, it was good.
So
yeah,
I got to put this one up here because I need to know what the difference is. A hooker burger, I saw that and I was like, what? Top roll burgers, side pressure king burgers. What is the difference is what I want to know.
I'm going to say one has bacon, one has cheese, and one's plain. I don't know.
And then the King's Move burger is actually vegan.
Oh, so it's an Impossible Burger.
Yeah. I just made that up, but we'll see. I don't know what it means, Billy. You tell me.
Right.
And then we've got
okay. Oh, wow. I had to laugh.
Oh my God.
Ooh, man, I got to laugh about that. Oh,
Jody,
man.
it is 20 minutes in. The soapbox. You said it, you told me the topic. I think it's pretty interesting, but let's go down the path.
Just for you, Scott. So, question. Oh, God, man. If that's the case, then I'm having onion rings. I'm going to call it a day. Uh-oh. Look who's in. Mr. Neil himself. And yes, I will be ready for dark card number 3. Yes, yes. Did you pull already, Ron, in dark card 3? Did you pull Terrence already?
You'll have to wait and see.
All right. There you go. So, my soapbox for today. I know y'all been waiting for this. So, question. Why does it seem like when some of these guys have these super matches, and glory hole. Jesus. Oh, I lost my train of thought for a second. So why is it? And I even want Neil, since he's in the chat, everybody else, Ryan, tell me, why is it the fact that when arm wrestlers struggle in certain matches, like they take loss after loss after loss, does the community, not all, but a big chunk of the community, see them as, oh, well, he's no good no more, this, that, and the other? Why is it that? Why is that?
It's a frustrating thing because Bob Brown will be the first person to tell you that the difference between a guy losing and a guy winning can be this much. It can be such a marginal thing. But that's enough that a match can look completely one-sided. It can be a couple pounds of pressure in a direction where the guy is, a certain plane of movement, if it stays in there, and somebody can just be a little tiny bit stronger.
Right.
And he can make the other guy look like garbage. And when you see that happen, people are quick to write people off. And on the flip side of that, and I won't name names, you have guys that are competing in the most elite events in the world consistently for the past half a decade that have lost the majority of their matches and haven't won a meaningful match in a significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But continues because of, what's the big needle mover? Personality and following. And I get that. But what you're saying is people get written off so quickly when they lose a match.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because it's the new crowd that doesn't really understand that all arm wrestlers take losses. Because if you showed me, I'll use the complete top tier, absolute pinnacle of arm wrestling right now. Devin Larratt's ranked number 1 in the world.
Yep.
If you were to have watched his match with Levon or with Dennis yesterday, if that happened yesterday and it had the same outcome, where would you place him? There would be people that are saying he's washed up, and it's just not true.
Right.
Michael Todd. We are talking about, if you look at Michael right now, I don't know that I've ever seen him in better shape than he is at this moment in time.
Right.
But he took a couple losses and took some time off to regroup. And I think Michael's going to be a scary guy the next time he's on the table.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought this up, because, and guys, feel free to, say something in the chat. So when Jay Clean says Monster Michael Todd, okay, struggled, injuries, whatever, you say people like, we'll say Matt Mask or Dave Chafee. And, they struggle, but they're struggling with the elite guys, and they keep getting matches. So it's like, okay, is it because of the fact that, okay, this is the one he's going to win in? Or is it the fact that, oh, okay, well, if you're going to beat somebody, yeah, people were saying Devin was washed up after his loss to KOTT. Yeah, one loss does not make you washed up, people, You're kidding. You are kidding me. Now, you look at it this way. And like I was saying with Matt Mask, I mean, look at the caliber of pulls he's been pulling, right? Sandris, Prutnik, Sonov. I mean, these ain't no just walking apart guys. And the last one he had at the AWC. So it's like, it's coming. And now he has Wagner on deck. He has Ron Bath on deck. And you got to go. Is he washed up? No, he's not washed up. But I just think sometimes when you take those L's, you got to go back to the lab and go, okay, what do I have to fix? We kind of know, we can say with Dave Chafee, the injuries does affect you one way or the other, And Plexman says haters love to hate. Haters usually themselves. Weak-minded people make jealous statements. Yes, and it makes you second. If you're the actual puller and you're struggling with matches, it does make you second guess yourself, right? Because I've gone through that, this year has not been the best years of me, but it's been one of those deals, like you go to Arm Wars and it's out, so it's not like it's a big secret, but there were matches that I'll never see the light of day, but still had a hell of a weekend. Neil put me through the ringer, but if you saw the match with Jason Hill, it didn't go in my favor. If you saw the match with and feel free to go check them out, by the way. If you saw the match versus Adrian Popescu, didn't go my way. But look, Popescu, Romania, that guy's a freaking stud, and I get not lined up to him, gave him my all, Jason Hill, another guy. And do you know how much crap I got from that? It was a good match, I think, with me and Jason Hill. But the fact that it was like, well, Jody, he weighs a lot less than you do. How can you lose that? And this goes back to, what Dan Plexman says. People just make dumb statements. If you were to rank it as like, oh, well, you weigh more than him, therefore you should be able to beat him. They know nothing about the sport. You know what I mean? How many times was John Brazing smacking super heavyweights when John was 220 pounds? So it's not a big thing. It's just one of those things. Okay, come back home, shake my head off. I got the Monster Factory 4 weeks later, right? I go in there, my left hand, my best hand, I go in there and get my doors blown off, right? Lost to Russ Schrader 3-0. I was just like, my mind's all messed up. Granted, I came back in it later in the event, pulled right, beat Daniel Worley. Cool, you come to this past weekend, right? Where, okay, I got Jordan Steele, I got Justin Green. I lost both matches by the same score, 3-1. So it makes you wonder, for me, like, dang, I'm like, am I losing steam? Do I need to, I got commitments. I got 2 more commitments before the year is up. So Billy Berg, I'm kind of pissed off right now of my performance. So if I were you, I'd really start focusing on what you need to do, because I'm going to come in there. I'm blowing off doors, by the way. Sorry, fair warning. But I have a match with Billy next month. I got a match with Paul Stevens in December. And then I got to sit down and reevaluate what I want to do, because if I'm struggling, do I got to take a step back and go, okay, do I need to just shift my gears and just focus on tournaments or what? Have you ever felt like that, Ryan?
All the time. And I have gone through that a number of times in my career that maybe I just thought, Billy says he's going to hook you. Yeah, nice.
I hope you do.
Good one, Billy.
Does he understand my left is better than my right? So if you plan on hooking me, okay.
I even thought about there's going to be a time that comes sometime where I'm probably going to go back exclusively to, being more of a hobbyist arm wrestler, because we all have a best before date. Let's face it. And I don't want to, rain on anyone's parade at all. But, at some point I will be comfortable and at peace with simply going to our nationals, competing in my weight and age class, and then going on to the world championship, whichever form that may be. But most likely I will be going to IFA.
See you in Greece, by the way.
Yeah. And then kind of just going through that path and staying, trying to live for a long time instead of just doing whatever I got to do to be as strong as possible.
No, I'm not saying I'm trying to and everybody in the chat, y'all need to understand something. I am not classifying myself as an elite puller by any means. No, not at all. It's just when yes, right now IFA is in Malaysia right now. They're getting ready to kick off the IFA Worlds.
Good luck, Dan. Good luck.
Do us proud, man. Get some work done. So the thing is, though, is that I'm not classifying myself as a elite level puller. Not at all. I kind of know where my lane is, but at the same time, I'm like, why am I struggling? Why am I struggling? It could be lack of table time. I don't get as much table time as I once did, and it's just a variety of reasons. This is what it is, So I've even sat there and was like, man, I gotta just, do a lot of stuff, So what is that?
Gee. He's waiting for me to be in the Ultra Grand.
Well, shit, by the time in a few years, I'll be grandmasters. That's sad. Shocker, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, it's that I sit there and go, damn, what is it? Because I got to sit there and put myself in situations like even Derek Smith, until this last win that Derek had, Derek Smith was going through the same thing. He was getting put up against guys, and maybe it was a stylistic situation or what, and he struggled. Oh yeah, Derek's washed up. He's no good. Matt Mass, he's only one. He needs to do this and do that. Dave Chake is lost. It's like, guys, it doesn't mean that they're lesser pullers now. It doesn't mean that they're weak.
Well, Derek Smith is the perfect example because he took a whole bunch of losses. Mm-hmm. He fought his way back, and now he's got that win, a big win.
Yeah.
At the last East versus West. So it can be done. Guys can make the comeback. Matt Mask was very, very close to winning that last match.
If I'm in Matt Mask's corner, the whole world saw dude was about to really shoulder press. The way he had his shoulders turned in, which I'm still trying to figure out how come they didn't square his shoulders up, but that's neither here nor there. But you could just tell his setup, he's coming in shoulder rolling. Matt, you got to protect that, man.
I think if Matt had, a coach yelling at him in that final match, I think he would have won it. That's a big what if. But, you could kind of see what was going on, and everyone's tired, and everyone's, and Matt might be a little overconfident, having won the previous two matches, thinking the guy was more gassed than he was. But, I mean, that one, that's kind of a gimme. Like, you can't even really call that a loss. I mean, yeah, obviously it's a loss, but it's not going to lower Matt's stock at all.
No. Or everybody in the chat, I want y'all to watch this. How often do we pull matches, and you can ask too, Ryan, where you lost, but you took a day to think about what happened, or if you have footage, you look back and go, damn, if I would have done that. If we can run it back next week, you feel like it would be different. How often does that cross your mind?
A week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Right? Knowing what you know now, that damn, if I would have done this or done that, I could have just, changed that. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and just blame the ref that, yeah, I might have called it premature on a parallel pin. I'm like, it is what it is. I probably should have never got myself into it in the first place, but I thought I kind of stopped him before the pin, but it is what it is. I sat there and said, well, maybe I should. Oh, and by the way, it's 3 elbows to get a loss, not just 2, by the way. 3 elbow fouls, 3 fouls.
Yeah.
So I could have gone, well, damn, if I'm here, I could have just fucking try to go like that and then elbow foul. I would have got a restart. I could have positioned myself a little bit better. But could I, though? Because they're all ref script. You can't move. And we all know if you want to cap your thumb, they tell you that before. Justin, you want to cap? Jody, do you want to cap? Jordan, do you want to cap? So they tell you that before they even lock you up, right? So, yeah, I want to cap. But, sometimes in the ref script, we all know the ref will put your hand where you're not comfortable with. Now, again, not the ref's fault. It's just something that we as athletes must get, we have to focus on,
It's all the ref's fault.
Yeah, so it's one of those deals, you kind of go, fuck, you know? All right. Highlight what Neil
All right,
says.
here's one for you.
Want to read that one?
That's a great example. In my opinion, a loss can actually increase an arm wrestler stock depending on who you lose against and specifically the manner in which you lose. An example would be Hermes versus Levon. Best
Perfect.
example, because we all put Hermes on a pedestal after taking a loss. And we thought, because of that loss and how he lost and the match that he had, that he was also going to smoke Devin. We thought that. A lot of us did.
Not only that, but it opened up a lot more questions. Do you remember what the talk was? So, and Neil, feel free to, respond to this. And Ryan and everybody else in the chat. When Hermes lost to, Levon, and we all had him on his pedestal, right? And, the fact that, he can pronate like that, the way he did, and then, or he can flop the way he did. What was the first thing that's coming to everybody's mouth the following day? What was the water cooler talk? Do you remember that?
Oh, man. Refresh my memory. It has something to do with Jerry Cataret, though.
Yes, the water cooler talk was if Hermes can do this and hang and give him problems, what could Jerry do to Levon? And Jerry is he is this move, So, oh Lord, Juju. Don't even get me started with that. But yes, I mean, all of a sudden now Jerry's like, well, hell, I thought I had a shot at Levon. Now I see what Hermes does in the move I actually do and perfect. I know I can beat Levon now. That answered that question. Well, not answered, but that proposed that question. It also proposed that, okay, Levon, you almost fucking died on the damn table. Your conditioning is not well. So if somebody were to drag a match out like that, we know Jerry can go for minutes upon minutes in a match. That opened that. There's question number 2. Question number 3. Well, dang, Hermes. Now guess what? Can you do the same thing against Jerry? Question number 3. Question number 4. Well, fuck. I mean, does Devin even want a piece of either of those guys? Because at that point, Devin already lost to Levon. So if everybody was talking, and even I was one of the guys that was said, hey, I want to see Devin and Hermes go out and see what happens, right? So many questions off of that one match, it just kind of, boom, water cooler talk, right? So, and now it's all matchups, right?
And because the way this is all unfolding, we're probably not going to see Devin have a rematch with Gennady. We're probably going to forget about that. We're going to see Devin go against Dennis. And then if Devin wins, we'll see him in the rematch with Levon.
Yeah, you're right, Neil. If you think about it, our message is more about gray rather than black and white, Yeah, I mean, it is because, and I can't say this enough. We all know this. Styles do make matchups. They do. And yes, look at Plexman. Look at Larry Will's losses. Another great example of losing, building stock. Yeah, he was losing, but then now he turned the corner, and now it's like, okay, he's getting stuff done now. He's taking it more serious. Yeah, depending on who you lose to and how you lost, as opposed, because you can look at a number like, and Neil could probably tell you this more than anything. We'll take my match with Adrian Popescu, right? You saw it, right, Ryan?
I did.
And if you didn't see it, but you saw the results, Adrian beats me 5-1. Without seeing the match, and you guys in the chat answer this question, without seeing the match, but all you heard, I lost to Adrian 5-1. What would your initial response be?
Oh, man. I would probably assume that if I just saw the score,
yeah,
my response would be that you probably got smoked 5 rounds in a row, and then he didn't go that hard in the 6th.
Right. And I think everybody in the 6-round format would probably say that, But I sold the opposite of how it went down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the end, 5-1. But if you actually saw that, you were like, damn, I mean, it was 5-1, and the way it went down like that, yeah. Neil was right there. He can tell you about it. Neil will sit there and go, wow, I mean, that's how you kick off an event, Now, in the record books, it goes out as 5-1, but the way it happened, yeah, So it's one of those deals. So it goes back to what Neil and everybody else was saying in the chat. You can rise up in stock after a loss depending on who you pull and how you pull them,
You ready to talk a little bit about King of the Table?
Yes, let's do that.
I don't want to do predictions yet. We can do that next week.
Right.
But the fact that we have this card, like, this is one of the more intriguing cards I've seen in quite a while.
Well, for so many reasons, though.
Well, I mean, you got the old grudge match between Matt Mask and Ron Bath. I mean, that thing's that's a rivalry that goes way back to the WAL days.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, though. I think the last two King of the Tables were only 3 match cards. This one has 5. 5 matches. 5 matches.
Now, are you sure? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches.
Oh, 6? I must have got I must not have the updated one. So refresh my memory, because I'm looking at it like this. This is what I got. Tell me. I see 5. I see 10 people, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right. It's 5. What the hell do I know?
So who do we got? Devin or Georgie? In Dark Card 3. Ooh, good question.
Well, that's one we can definitely talk about.
Well, let's hit that one up first. Right now, I'm going to put it out there. Devin's just on another planet right now, And we talked about this, where Devin can possibly do something as no other person has done, to maintain 3 world championships in 3 different levels, or I should say weight classes, and the current Arm Wars champion, if I'm not mistaken, right? He beat Sanders there. He beat Mendalgas there. He's about to go against Georgie, where last time we saw Georgie,
Well, I'm going to say Devin smokes him, to be honest. I don't think that's going to be close. Left-handed. I think
I say Devin wins 5-1.
No.
Think 6-0?
All 6. That's my prediction.
There you go. So there you go, Neil. I say, yeah, left arm. I say Devin 5-1.
I know it's left arm, Neil. I still think 6-0. Last time I saw Georgie pull a significant super match left-handed, it was against Travis, and he had nothing for Travis. But that was a few years ago.
That was like, what, 5 years ago? 4?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I say Devin's just on another level now, So, but I tell you what, everyone's not – now, I wouldn't say everyone. Let me read. A lot of people are intrigued with the voter match with Brzezinski, where I sat there. Last time we had John on the match, I said Todd's going to win because I wasn't sure of John's shoulder, right? Todd, the way Todd pulls, he's just going to jam right into that shoulder with side pressure. I didn't know how that was going to end. That was my predicament, and, I was right. Ha, 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 ha. But I really want John to say, dude, like, when you pull so many matches throughout a whole year, when does wear and tear come into play? And we're talking about Lexi and John at King of the Table, by the way.
Well, if we're talking about Alexei and John, I don't know. I mean, can a guy come back after that long and still be as good as he was, or even close to it? That's the question for me. It's not about John's shape, it's more about Alexei's shape.
I'll take it a step further. Do you remember how many times have Alexei like come back and retired and come back or whatnot? Do you remember when Alexei came back, shorter hair, and everything, and he pulled Tim Bresnan?
Yeah, and
And
spoiled the
Bresnan
party.
beat him
Tim
like
spoiled
what?
the party.
Yeah, like it was like 4-2 or 5-1. Tim beat him.
Yeah.
And short story, that was supposed to be Alexei's comeback. There's a film crew. They're going to make a little documentary, and Tim spoiled that whole thing by beating him. And that got scrapped, but that's another story for another day. And when Tim beat him, it was like, wow, what the hell, you know? And then what happened? Alexei kind of just disappeared again, remember?
Fell off the map again. So we'll see. I mean, it's a tough one.
And when you come back, you know, there's a thing called table rust. There's a thing, you know, where, okay, John's been pulling. Alexei hasn't.
Yeah. And then we got a comment that says Vovoda needs this win more than the GOAT does. Of course he does. He needs to win this match to be back on the map in any way. But he also needed to win against Tim.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I don't know.
Class is he in? First of all, how much does he weigh? Does anybody know?
Don't know. I assume it's going to be somewhere around that 240, 250 mark.
Right. Okay. Because you got that, you got, you know, and like I said, we're not making predictions yet, guys and girls. So just, you know, because Matt Mask, you know, when he put out that video, hey guys, I got Solidified, I got Ron Bath, I got Wagner Bortolotto. I'm thinking, okay, now we're getting somewhere, you know, and Matt coming off a tremendous match, even though he lost. I think he like, okay, and here's the thing, Matt was down 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
For those that forgot, Matt was down 3-0. You can kind of see in his face like, shit, here we go again. You could, without him actually saying it, you could tell in his body language, you could tell in his facial expressions that he was just like, what the hell's going on? When he got that first win, that's all you need. Once you get that first win, you have no idea how much confidence that brings. You know, it could change the course of a match too, you know? So Matt was down 3-0 and came back and tied the son bitch to where now I'm going to force a silver bullet. So, you know, he's riding off of that. Now, what does he do? You know?
Well, he should win this match. Matt should.
Now, looking at this poster and the way they have it, is Krasimir pulling Lachlan Adair?
Yes.
Ouch.
So you got Krassi, who did very, very well at the WAF championships.
Mm-hmm.
Got some really good wins.
Going you got to win on what you call it? Why am I drawing a blank all of a sudden? Damn, I'm losing my mind.
So look at this comment here. Not this one. This one. Vovoda said in his interview with Engen that he doesn't really want to win. He just wants to enjoy pulling John. Then why do I care to watch?
Unless that's just, you know, smoke and mirrors. Ooh, there you go, Neil.
Yeah, and this is a good point here. The Natty King against the least natty looking guy ever. Krassi and Lachlan. So I don't know. I think Krassi is I applaud him for taking the match, but we know where he stands.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, Neil says on the table, Alexei appears to be on the similar level to David Dadakin. If John Schroeder is up to it, I personally like to see him try Vote in the hook.
So Dan Woodley says, do you think Matt will finally pull you, Ryan, if he loses? Here's the
Left
thing,
hand?
Dan. Matt, I think, is willing to pull me anytime if someone puts it together. Like, I've gotten some calls from Alberta asking me to come out there and pull Matt. Obviously, he doesn't want a left-handed match. He wants a right-handed match. So I haven't really taken any matches with my right hand since I tore it up.
At Arm Wars?
Yeah, and nor have I called out anybody for a right-handed match since I tore it up. That being said, it felt pretty good, and the after pulling at the high five, I got on the table with Chafee and Chance and a bunch of those guys. So I don't know.
How'd that feel?
Good, but they're not quite. I'm not going to say they're definitely strong, but Matt pulls in a different way, and he pulls in a way that is exactly into where I may have a deficiency.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So, speaking of Chance Shaw, his match.
I like that match for Chance.
Another guy where, okay, this might be another, I think this is Chance's first ever King of the Table, is it not?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
So there's also that too. So I like it.
Chance Shaw is a much larger human in person than I thought.
Oh yeah.
But he said the same thing to me. So
And then
when he pulled Sabin, that was pretty one-sided. I was surprised by that. Chance looked really good. I'm kind of excited for this match.
Yeah.
And it will give us a picture of where Matt stands a little bit as well. But this guy is not going to be it's not going to look the same. Chance has more tools than Matt does.
And that's where, especially in super match, you got to have more than just the same old thing,
Yeah. Neil wants this match pretty bad, I think. First I've heard of it. I haven't even thought about it yet. It wasn't even on the radar.
Come to think about it, how do we know that match didn't take place already?
Well, only one way to find out.
Because you did leave to go to high five, but then you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be on the road. We can't have the show. Just saying.
Here we go. All right, Neil, we'll set it up. Early in the new year. Metawarangi.
Yes.
Versus Lars Rebarkin, finally coming back. You remember Lars had some matches set up. I think he was actually supposed to pull Matt at one of Magda's events, and then he injured himself. So we got Lars coming back. Lars, a big flop wrist presser.
Yeah, back in the day, back in their Arm Wars, what was it? Not Sin City. It was High Rollers. He pulled Matt Mask.
Yeah.
A skinny Matt Mask.
Yeah, they were going to have a rematch, and then Lars, I think, had to pull out. Yeah, and then Lars, hard. Jay Clean says can't pick Lars, have no clue where he's at. Well, that's a tough one because you're right. Where the hell has he been all this time other than like living in the mountains in Northern Europe and hanging out with his dogs and doing all kinds of cool stuff?
Do we know what shape he's in as far as what's his stature?
Well, he looks, if you go by how he looks, Like when I pulled Lars in 2005 at the World Championship, and I beat him, by the way, he was like a puffy, heavy guy.
Right.
Now he looks like he's got not an ounce of body fat on him, like he's jacked, but he's got a big frame.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's in amazing shape. Is he in shape to pull a giant human being like Metarangi in that setting? I don't know.
Because Meta, another guy, just because he's taking some losses doesn't mean he's not good. But look at his last couple matches. Toddzilla, Lachlan Adair, So it's not like, Heather Morris is bad or horrible. Once again, somebody's on a losing streak in super matches and all of a sudden, but he's no good. Why is that? Why is he no good? We all know certain matchups, like when you set up with Toddzilla, it could be a headache,
Oh my God.
Yes. This is why I love this show.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, so again, and I know we were done with the soapbox edition, but again, he's another example. Merengue, another example of like, just because a guy loses or is on a losing streak doesn't mean he's horrible. Doesn't mean he's bad.
Yeah. And you ready for the conspiracy corner?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So if it's me, it's called soapbox. For you, it's conspiracy corner. I like that.
We have my conspiracy corner.
Yes.
And it's a short segment.
Okay, let's have it.
Let me throw it at you. You got an Australia heavy event. What are the chances that you have Lachlan and you have Metarangi, who are also mainstays in Bowen's promotion, now getting locked into contracts, essentially causing a major gap in what Ryan Bowen has the ability to do in Australia with his promotion?
Didn't even think about that till you said it. Conspiracy corner, there you have it. Well, and what does Ryan do now? I mean,
Well, he has the ability, like he's got some stars in Australia, but the two biggest ones are on this King of the Table card that we're looking at.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's but who's to say that so are they locked in the contracts? Do we know that for sure?
We don't know that for sure. However, Derek Smith from Istanbul let Ryan know that he was no longer able to pull at his event. You have Dave Chafee, who is a man of his word, a man of principle, who has said that he will keep his commitment to Ryan Bowen and compete in the match that he committed to. Unfortunately, if these two guys get locked up for some reason, he will need to find someone else for the American competitor that is coming over there. And let's be honest, if you get rid of these two guys, there's no Australian left to pull Dave Chafee.
I mean, who is there?
There's not. He'll have to bring someone over from a different country. And then there's this other statement here, and I don't know what to make of this, but Bowen went out and got a job.
Is that because his job was his social media, was it not?
Yes. He's a full-time guy making money off of just arm wrestling, and so is Aussie Arm Wrestler. I think Jake's doing that now. There's a handful of guys where, 10 years ago, there was nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Not even John Brzenk could make a living, well, not a comfortable one, off of simply the sport of arm wrestling. Now there are a handful of guys that are able to do that, and Ryan Bowen was one of the first.
Mm-hmm. Is it because he kind of painted himself into a corner where I've burnt so many bridges that those bridges cannot be repaired. And now,
Hard to say.
you know, you're losing like freaking your own countrymen.
Well, I don't know. Apparently he got a job because he stopped making money on Facebook, and maybe the YouTube stuff is not enough.
You can make money on Facebook?
Well, yeah, you can monetize Facebook, but I don't know. I'm going to reach out to Ryan and find out what the story is and bring it back.
And watch all of a sudden Ryan Espey be the replacement and pull Chafee.
We've been talking about a left-handed match for a while.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, we've been on here for an hour, my man.
Let's sign it off, and we'll come back next week and do an even bigger breakdown of King of the Table 8, more soapbox, more conspiracy corner, and we'll give our predictions.
And
our
Ryan,
official predictions.
Be sure to stay on once we go off the air. But first things first, everybody, thanks for joining us on the show. And don't forget this Saturday, dark card number 3, Georgie, Larrett. Let's get it on.
Yes, check out Dark Card 3. Go and join the channel. Go join Neil's channel. Arm Wars. Yeah.
And
Neil,
don't just subscribe.
Yeah.
No. It goes further than that. Don't just subscribe, become a member.
You have to be a member to watch the Dark Card.
Yes. So that way you're not saying, hey, who won? Who won? Become a member. Be like me, become a member. Right?
Like me.
Yes. Become a member. You know? So there you go.
All right. So long, everybody.